One day, a rich merchant came to Buddha and asked him, "Master, what is the best way to use my wealth?" Buddha smiled and said, "The best way to use your wealth is to share it with others." The merchant was confused and said, "But why should I share my wealth with others? I worked hard to earn it, and I deserve to enjoy it. How can I be happy if I give away my money?" Buddha said, "You are like a man who hoards gold in a vault. The more you accumulate, the more you fear losing it. You will never be happy, because your wealth is not secure. It can be stolen, destroyed, or devalued. It will only bring you anxiety and greed." Buddha then took the merchant to a nearby town and showed him a poor woman who lived in a shack with her son. The woman had no money, no property, no status, no comfort. She was despised and exploited by everyone. She suffered from hunger, thirst, cold, heat, pain, and disease. She had nothing to give. But she was always kind and generous, because she had learned the value of generosity from a wandering monk. She had given her last coin to a beggar, her last piece of bread to a bird, her last drop of water to a plant. She had practiced giving without expecting anything in return. She had realized the joy of giving and the freedom of detachment. Buddha said, "This woman has found the best way to use her wealth. She has shared it with others, and she has enriched her own heart. She is happy and free from suffering." The merchant was amazed and said, "Master, I want to be like her. How can I learn to share my wealth?" Buddha said, "You can start by giving a portion of your wealth to those who are in need. Do not give out of pity, obligation, or guilt. Do not give to seek praise, fame, or reward. Do not give to manipulate, control, or influence. Just give out of compassion, gratitude, and love. This will help you reduce your attachment, increase your merit, and purify your mind. Then, you can give more and more, until you are ready to give up everything. This will help you realize the impermanence, the emptiness, and the non-self of all phenomena. This is the ultimate way to use your wealth." The merchant thanked Buddha and said, "Master, I will follow your advice. I will practice sharing my wealth, and I will seek happiness in giving. Thank you for showing me the way." Buddha smiled and said, "You are welcome. May you be happy and free from suffering." The merchant went back to his home and started to share his wealth with others. He gave money to the poor, food to the hungry, clothes to the naked, medicine to the sick, shelter to the homeless. He donated to temples, schools, hospitals, and charities. He supported the arts, the sciences, the culture, and the education. He was generous and kind to everyone he met. He felt a new sense of joy and satisfaction in his life. But not everyone was happy with his generosity. His wife, his children, his relatives, his friends, his business partners, and his competitors were all unhappy with his change of heart. They thought he was foolish, wasteful, and irresponsible. They tried to stop him, to persuade him, to threaten him, to blackmail him, to sue him, to rob him, to harm him. They wanted him to keep his wealth for himself and for them. They did not understand his motive or his goal. The merchant faced many obstacles and challenges, but he did not give up. He remembered Buddha's words and followed his advice. He did not let his attachment, his fear, his anger, or his pride affect his mind. He did not let his wealth, his reputation, his status, or his power influence his actions. He did not let his enemies, his friends, his family, or his self interfere with his path. He just gave and gave, until he had nothing left to give. He then went back to Buddha and said, "Master, I have done as you told me. I have shared all my wealth with others, and I have nothing left. I have faced many difficulties and dangers, but I have overcome them all. I have lost everything I had, but I have gained something I never had. I have found happiness in giving. What should I do now?" Buddha smiled and said, "You have done well, my son. You have learned the best way to use your wealth. You have mastered the first perfection of generosity. Now, you are ready to learn the other perfections of morality, patience, energy, meditation, and wisdom. Come, join me and my disciples, and I will teach you the way to enlightenment. The merchant bowed and said, Master, I will follow you and learn from you. Thank you for showing me the way. Buddha smiled and said, You are welcome. May you be happy and free from suffering. The merchant left his home and his worldly life behind, and followed Buddha and his disciples. He shaved his head, wore a robe, and carried a bowl. He renounced his wealth, his fame, his power, and his pleasure. He adopted a new name, a new identity, and a new purpose. He became a monk, a seeker, and a learner. He learned the teachings of Buddha, the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, the Three Marks of Existence, the Five Aggregates, the 12 Links of Dependent Origination, the Six Realms of Rebirth, the Four Sublime States, the Seven Factors of Enlightenment, the Three Jewels, the Four Foundations of Mindfulness, the Five Precepts, the 10 Perfections, and many more. He practiced the methods of Buddha, the right view, the right intention, the right speech, the right action, the right livelihood, the right effort, the right mindfulness, and the right concentration. He cultivated the qualities of Buddha, the wisdom, the compassion, the purity, the joy, and the peace. He followed the example of Buddha, the generosity, the morality, the patience, the energy, the meditation, and the wisdom. He gave up his greed, his hatred, and his delusion. He overcame his craving, his aversion, and his ignorance. He realized the impermanence, the suffering, and the non-self of all phenomena. He attained the four stages of enlightenment, the stream enterer, the once-returner, the non-returner, and the arahant. He broke the cycle of birth and death, and achieved the ultimate goal of nirvana. He became a teacher, a guide, and a friend to many others who were seeking the same truth. He shared his experience, his insight, and his happiness with them. He helped them to overcome their obstacles, to understand their mind, and to liberate their heart. He inspired them to follow the way of Buddha, and to realize their own potential. He lived a long and fruitful life, full of meaning and joy. He died peacefully, without any regret or fear. He left behind a legacy of kindness and wisdom, that would benefit countless beings for generations to come. He was happy and free from suffering.